Hello, my name is Edward Brown of the Core Edge Image and Charisma Institute. And I wrote an article recently called, Are You Charismatic? A Qualitative Analysis. And essentially I wanted to address the problems that many researchers have and pundits have when they try to qualify the effectiveness of charismatic leadership. Essentially the knock or the hard challenge with charismatic leadership is we can't measure it. We can't determine how profitable, how productive, or how powerful the model is when it comes to organizational development. And so I looked at the problem and I analyzed and looked at the facts and the research and suggested that if we can't quantify it, meaning put numbers to it because it's an emotional response based on a personality, then we can qualify it. We can do qualitative analysis to say that if we have certain measures to objectively say that the person is doing such and such and such, then we can say, therefore, that person is a charismatic leader. Here's the productivity and the profitability that we can measure based on what's going on the activities of the charismatic leader. And that being said, I determined that there had to be some overarching objectives that we can measure or look at in terms of the qualitative aspect of charismatic leadership. And so in my article, I address a few things. I say that if you want to see a charismatic leader in action and determine his or her effectiveness, you must look at the collective aspect of what they're doing. And these are some of the things I broke out. I said, the person has in some way transformed the standard thinking or operations within an industry or profession. The person has in some way transformed the standard thinking or operations within an industry or profession, which means that you had an industry going on for a long period of time on its own, and then this person, based on who they are, came in and made it better and transformed it on some level. Second, very little, if any, distinction between the individual's personality and the service or the product. The person comes to the industry, transforms it, and you can't tell the person's personality from the product or service itself. You can't determine Apple's personality from Steve Jobs' personality. That's a sign of a charismatic leader. Also, the creation of a memorable experience which would ordinarily be viewed as mundane. A charismatic leader basically can look at and read a phone book and make it the most interesting thing you ever see in your life. That is impacting on how that person is bringing people in as it relates to a big visionary aspect. Also, there is a seismic shift within the organization or the people around the leader. In other words, I come into the organization and everything was going, as I said earlier, in a mundane, stable fashion. And all of a sudden, people are becoming motivated. People are becoming excited about coming to work. They're seeing committees being formed. They see projects being brought to the fore. They're seeing a lot of things going up and being evolved that they hadn't seen or heard of in a long time. And change seems to be afoot. And so that person is actually making change a viable as well as a visual reality inside the organization. Also, conventional wisdom or status quo is challenged. Anything that you believe to be true or that, it'll never change. We've been doing this for the last 100 years. It's going to continue this way. This person challenges the conventional wisdom and says, and you start feeling that change has really come. Also, visceral or core emotions about the leader. You either love the leader or you hate them. But you don't have a sense of on the fence about them. You don't have a gray area when it comes to defining, is this person someone you like, want to be a part of, want to embrace their vision and reality, or someone you're rebuffing to the point where it's get away from me, I don't want anything to do with what you have to say. And also, finally, others begin emulating the leader without compunction. Others begin emulating the leader without compunction, which means that for the first time, you start even dressing or even talking and manifesting certain aspirations and aspects of the person's personality that you enjoy, you embrace, and you think is an ideal. And so these things are, if they're taken in a continuum as a collective agenda, you can say that person is a charismatic leader and that person's personality based on where the company was when he got there and where it has gone since he's been there. We can weigh that and determine, measure that person has brought that kind of value based on personality, audacity, sheer determination, and persistence to the fore. Those are the things that we can start measuring that sometimes quantitatively, number-wise, we have to go through qualitative measures to get to that point. Edward Brown, Courage, Image, and Charisma. If you want more information on how to be more charismatic, persuasive, and influential, there's a link to a website below that you can tap into, right into this sign me up subscription, and we'll start sending you updates on our information and our research.